Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, your home for everything Lakers, where we break down the latest updates, insider movements, and the hottest developments surrounding our beloved purple and gold. I'm here to keep you in the loop on every single piece of news that matters to us as fans. And trust me when I say that what's been unfolding over the past few weeks is something that will define the Lakers franchise for years to come. Stick with me through this entire video because the reality we're facing right now is something we need to talk about honestly, openly, and with the perspective that only true Lakers fans can bring to the table. Something extraordinary is happening in Los Angeles right now, and it's not what any of us expected at the start of this season. The energy around the team has shifted in a way that feels both exhilarating and, honestly, a little unsettling. We're watching something unfold in real time that we haven't witnessed in 2 decades, and understanding what this means for the future of our franchise requires us to look at the bigger picture, beyond the box scores, beyond the highlights, beyond the surface-level takes that flood social media every single day. Let me paint you a picture of where we are right now. The Lakers are sitting at 15 wins and 4 losses after that dominant performance against the New Orleans Pelicans this past Sunday. 15-4. Let that sink in for a moment. This isn't just a good start to the season. This is a statement. This is a team that's clicking on all cylinders, that's finding its identity, that's showing the entire league that Los Angeles is back in contention for championship glory. The ball movement is crisp, the defensive rotations are sharp, and there's a chemistry on the court that feels organic, natural, almost effortless. Players are stepping into their roles with confidence, and the results speak for themselves. But here's where things get interesting, and this is where I need you to pay very close attention. When you look at those 15 wins, when you watch the tape of how this team has been playing, there's a pattern that emerges. There's a reality that we can't ignore, no matter how uncomfortable it might make some of us feel. The Lakers have been flying high, absolutely dominating stretches of games, and they've been doing it in situations that, just a year ago, would have seemed impossible. They're winning games with a different dynamic, a different flow, a different hierarchy on the court than what we've become accustomed to over the past several seasons. Let me take you back to February of last year, because that's when everything changed. That's when the organization made a move that shook the entire basketball world to its core. The trade that brought Luka Doncic to Los Angeles in exchange for Anthony Davis wasn't just a transaction on paper. It was a seismic shift in how this franchise sees its future, how it's constructing its championship window, and how it's positioning itself for sustained success over the next decade. Nobody saw it coming. Analysts were stunned. Fans were divided. The debate raged for weeks about whether the Lakers had made the right call, whether they'd given up too much, whether they were being too hasty in reshaping the roster around a different superstar. But here we are, almost a full season into the Luka Doncic era in Los Angeles, and the results are undeniable. Doncic isn't just playing well, he's been spectacular. At 26 years old, he's in the prime of his career, and he's bringing an offensive creativity and court vision that opens up the entire floor for his teammates. His pick-and-roll mastery, his ability to break down defenses with his combination of size, skill, and basketball IQ, it's exactly what this franchise needed to build around for the next generation. Doncic is averaging numbers that put him firmly in the MVP conversation. And when you watch him orchestrate the offense, you see a player who's not just talented but who understands how to make everyone around him better. And it's not just Doncic who's thriving in this new system. Austin Reaves has emerged as the most surprising breakout star of the 2025-26 season. Reaves has always shown flashes of potential, but this year he's taken a massive leap forward. His confidence is through the roof, his scoring has become more consistent, and his defensive awareness has improved dramatically. Watching Reaves and Doncic operate together in the backcourt with that natural chemistry and understanding of spacing, it's beautiful basketball. It's the kind of synergy that championship teams are built on, and it's giving Lakers fans a glimpse of what the future can look like when everything comes together. Now, here's where we need to have an honest conversation, and I'm going to be direct with you because that's what this channel is all about. During that impressive 15-4 start, there have been games where one particular player has been absent from the lineup. Load management, rest days, dealing with a lingering left leg issue that's been bothering him throughout the early part of the season. And in those games, something interesting has happened. The Lakers haven't just maintained their level of play, in some cases they've elevated it. The ball has moved more freely, younger players have gotten more touches, and the offensive rhythm has sometimes felt more democratic, more spread out across the entire roster. This brings us to the elephant in the room, the conversation that's been building in intensity behind closed doors, in front offices, in media circles, and among fans who are trying to make sense of what they're watching. For the first time in 20 years, there's a player on the Lakers roster who isn't the unquestioned alpha, who isn't the guy everything runs through, who isn't the main man of the franchise. And that player, as you've probably figured out by now, is LeBron James. Let me be crystal clear about something before we go any further. This conversation is not about LeBron's ability to still play at a high level. At 41 years old, dealing with sciatica and the natural wear and tear that comes with playing professional basketball for over 2 decades, LeBron James can still ball. Stephen A. Smith, one of the most prominent voices in sports media, recently made this exact point. Despite their history of disagreements, Stephen A. went on record saying that LeBron, even at his age and with his current physical challenges, can come back and average above 20 points per game. The skill is still there, the basketball IQ is still elite, and the ability to impact winning hasn't disappeared. But this isn't about what LeBron can do on the court. This is about organizational direction, about timeline alignment, about building a championship contender that can sustain success over multiple years. And according to Stephen A. Smith's analysis, if the Lakers had a choice, if they could make a move without the emotional baggage and the historical significance weighing on the decision, they would explore trading LeBron James. Not because he can't play, not because he's hurting the team, but simply because of his age and the fact that Luka Doncic, at 26 years old, represents the future of this franchise. Think about it from a pure basketball operations perspective for a moment. Luka is entering his prime. He has at least 8 to 10 years of elite-level basketball ahead of him. Building around him means constructing a roster with pieces that fit his timeline, players who can grow with him, develop chemistry over multiple seasons, and create a sustainable window for championship contention. LeBron, as magnificent as his career has been, and as much respect as he deserves for everything he's brought to the Lakers organization, is on the other end of that spectrum. He's in the twilight of his career, and while he can still contribute, the reality is that his body is going to require more rest, more load management, and more careful handling of minutes as this season progresses. Stephen A. Smith put it bluntly in his comments. He said, "Luka's 26 and you want some young cats to play, not someone who's 41 and on his way in the next year too." That's what that's about. It's not because of LeBron's game, it's because of his age. That statement cuts right to the heart of the matter. This isn't personal, it's business. It's about making decisions that position the franchise for long-term success rather than short-term nostalgia. Now, let's talk about what this means practically. LeBron sat out the game against New Orleans this past Sunday for load management, resting that left leg that's been giving him trouble, and the expectation moving forward is that he'll continue to sit out multiple games throughout the 2025-26 season. This is the new reality for a 41-year-old body trying to compete at the highest level of professional basketball. But here's the thing that makes this situation so complex. The Lakers have been proving that they can win without him. They're not just scraping by, they're thriving. The 15-4 record isn't built on luck or easy scheduling. It's built on a team that's found its identity with Doncic as the centerpiece. The trade that brought Doncic to Los Angeles was polarizing precisely because it sent Anthony Davis to Dallas in the exchange. AD, a generational talent on both ends of the floor, was seen by many as the long-term cornerstone alongside LeBron. But the front office saw something different. They saw an opportunity to get younger at the most important position, to bring in a player who could carry the franchise for the next decade, and to make a bold move that signaled a willingness to think beyond the immediate present. That takes courage, that takes vision, and now that the dust has settled, we're seeing why they made that decision. Doncic isn't just the future, he's the present. He's an MVP candidate right now. He's one of the absolute best players in the world right now, and he's doing it all while wearing purple and gold, putting on a show for the Lakers faithful every single night he steps on the court. The way he controls the pace of the game, the way he makes the right read in every pick-and-roll situation, the way he delivers pinpoint passes to cutters and shooters. It's the kind of offensive brilliance that changes the trajectory of a franchise. But I want to emphasize something important here, and this is where my optimism as a Lakers fan comes through. This transition, this evolution of the team's identity, doesn't have to be ugly. It doesn't have to end with drama or bitterness or a messy exit that tarnishes legacies. There's a way for this to work where everyone wins. LeBron James brought a championship back to Los Angeles. He delivered on his promise when he came here. His legacy in Lakers history is secure, and nothing that happens from this point forward changes that fundamental truth. The question now is how the organization handles this delicate situation moving forward. Do they explore trade scenarios that could send LeBron to a contender where he could chase one more ring while getting the playing time and the role he wants? Do they come to a mutual understanding about a reduced role where he mentors the younger players while still contributing in key moments? Or do they simply ride it out, letting LeBron finish his career in purple and gold, regardless of how that affects the team's development around Doncic? These are the questions that Lakers fans need to be thinking about, discussing, and forming opinions on, because the decisions made over the next few months could define this franchise for the next decade. And I want to be clear about my perspective. I'm optimistic about where we're headed. Watching Luka Doncic operate, seeing Austin Reaves' emergence, observing how the younger players are stepping up and taking ownership of their roles, it all points to a bright future. The 15-4 record isn't a fluke. It's a sign that this team has real potential to compete for a championship this season, and for many seasons too. Doncic is the face of the franchise now. Whether LeBron stays and finishes his career here, whether he gets traded to another contender, or whether he decides to retire in the near future, that reality doesn't change. The Lakers have found their next generational superstar, and everything about how this roster is constructed going forward will be built around maximizing his prime years. That's not disrespectful to LeBron, it's not ungrateful, it's just the reality of how professional sports organizations have to think about timeline and sustainability. Let's also acknowledge the business side of this equation. LeBron James is still one of the most marketable athletes in the world. His jersey still sells, his presence still draws massive attention, and there's significant value in having him associated with the franchise even in a reduced capacity. But from a pure basketball standpoint, the Lakers have to make decisions based on what gives them the best chance to win championships over the next 5 to 10 years, not what makes the most sense from a marketing or nostalgic perspective. And here's where I want to bring you into the conversation, because your voice matters. As Lakers fans, we're all invested in this team emotionally. We've celebrated the highs, endured the lows, and stuck with this franchise through every up and down. Now we're facing a pivotal moment where the organization has to make some tough choices about roster construction and long-term direction. I want to know what you think. Do you believe the Lakers should explore trading LeBron while they can still get value in return? Do you think he deserves to finish his career here regardless of how it affects the team's championship aspirations? Are you comfortable with the idea of Doncic being the undisputed #1 option, or do you want to see LeBron reclaim that role? These questions don't have easy answers, and reasonable people can disagree. But that's what makes being a fan so engaging, so passionate, so worth investing time and energy into. We get to debate these questions, form our opinions based on what we see on the court, and watch as the story unfolds in real time. And I promise you, I'll be here every step of the way, providing you with the most honest, informed, and thoughtful analysis I can offer. The bottom line is this: the Lakers are in a position of strength right now. They have a young superstar in Luka Doncic, who's playing at an MVP level. They have an emerging star in Austin Reaves, who's proving he belongs in that conversation as a high-level contributor. They have a record of 15-4 that shows they're capable of competing with anyone in the league. And they have organizational flexibility to make moves that position them for sustained success. That's an enviable position to be in, and as Lakers fans, we should feel excited about what the future holds. So here's my challenge to you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me how you'd handle the LeBron situation. Tell me what moves you'd make if you were running the front office. Tell me what you're most excited about as you watch this team continue to develop its identity. I read every comment, I engage with this community, and your perspectives help shape the conversations we have on this channel. Before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we're going to be covering every development in this story as it unfolds. Smash that like button if you found value in this analysis, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The Lakers are entering a fascinating phase of their history, and I want you to be part of the conversation every step of the way. We're building something special here at Lakers News Fan Report, a community of informed, passionate fans who care about this team and want to see them succeed at the highest level. Join us, engage with us, and let's ride this journey together. Until next time, Lakers Nation, stay locked in, stay passionate, and let's continue to support our team through whatever comes next.